What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to The Scope, episode number 65. It's the worst, best, and probably only FPS live news show on the internet, so we get all those titles, and we're broadcasting live on multiple streams. It's not a big deal. We're technologically advanced around here. I hope you guys liked my new angle. Got my new camera angle. Yeah, everyone's loving it. Buff, how are you, man?
I'm good. I am back on Twitter, ready for season 3. We're good to go, man.
Broke out of jail just in time.
Again. I'm surprised you haven't been banned again.
Me too. I'm trying to I'm trying to dial it back a little bit. Crash your tweet that you tagged me in. What was it, like Thursday night or Friday night?
Oh my god, I saw that.
I was dying, dude. I was like looking at it, watching it a couple times after, and I was like, this is gold.
I was looking for
Follow
gifs of people.
Guys. Come on.
I was looking for gifs of people getting out of jail, and that one was amazing. I was like, I had to say,
yeah, perfect.
Blue, what's going on over there with you, man?
Nothing much, man. Just like this weekend was kind of chill. Just celebrated, Easter with the fam. Gonna go see Mario soon, and then we got my son's 5th birthday coming up this week.
Party time.
Yeah, he's not here right now, so I can say we're going to Islands of Adventure for his birthday.
Ooh, nice.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. So yeah, we got a little mini Crash dressed up for his first Easter. He had an outfit with suspenders awesome. And bow tie and everything. Like he was
oh nice.
He was dressed to the nines, baby, looking good. And yeah, I did a range stream on Saturday.
I'm so sad I missed it, dude.
Me too.
I saw the little table layout and I was like, come on. I got that notification like 20 hours later.
Dude.
I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A lot of people did. A lot of people in my Discord were bummed that they missed it.
What was it too? Do you have videos enabled on your Twitch? Like VODs?
I can turn it back on. Yeah. It's unpublished now, but I can turn it on.
Turn it back on. I was like, I will literally sit here and watch the VOD.
Oh, yeah.
We were, my buddy Clark was here. He's the one that I used to load ammo with in college, but he's got all the equipment, so he still loads all my ammo. And he came out and brought a bunch of new loads, so we were testing a bunch of reload rounds, shooting some stuff on paper. He also has, I posted that Twitter clip of shooting the suppressed 458 SOCOM. That big titanium suppressor, that one's his.
That's nice.
Yeah, I just hope I'm in his will. Like if something ever happens to him, I can have that suppressor. So yeah, it was awesome. We shot 458 SOCOM. He's got a rifle that shoots 44 mag. So we suppressed that, and then my lever gun, my 357 38 special lever gun. Shot that. I shot a lot at 1911, my 45. I am probably not only, which I'm going to show you guys on Wednesday when Gunfight lands. Not only am I an incredible gunfight player, I'm also really pretty good with the 1911. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I was shooting at about 20 yards and like shooting a ragged hole with my 1911. 20-25 yards was awesome. I love that thing.
What do you think about the real quick the I've been seeing it everywhere on YouTube, the Henry Homesteader?
What's that?
It's a Henry rifle chambered in 9mm and it takes Glock mags.
Dude, I don't know what it is. Like I've been about rifles that shoot pistol calibers. I don't know why. Like my 357 pistol calibers, my buddy's 44 mag that shoots pistol calibers.
Those are I'd be like, those are heavy pistol rounds, so I can kind of be like, oh, I can get more behind that. I can also kind of get behind this Henry rifle because it looks very like it shouldn't be made, but at the same time I could see where like if my wife is like home by herself and once we get the house and she needs to do something to defend herself, she can grab that and shoot that easily, if that was the only thing next to her, and I'd be, and it's suppressor ready, I think, out of the box too. Like,
so
they have little notches for an RMR if you want. I'm like, dude, like Henry is
have you seen the Ruger PC9 carbine?
Yeah,
I have one of those. I have one of those and I like it. That suppressor goes on there too, and then it does the same thing. Glock mags. So we have some subsonic 9mm that he loads for me, and it's ultra quiet when it's suppressed.
Ooh, yeah.
But if you shoot like full boat loads that break the sound barrier, it cracks super loud. There's a huge difference between sub and supersonic ammo on that thing.
A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, it's not movie quiet, but there definitely is a difference for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, the 458 with that big titanium suppressor was pretty movie quiet. I don't know, man. It's cool. And then it's like a 500 grain bullet. So like it just smacks the backstop so loud. It's so cool.
That's beast.
So that was my weekend. I had a good weekend. Oh, we also shot 300 Blackout. He's got one of those.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
But it was
nice.
Those were all bolties. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had a good weekend. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I've been playing Siege again. There's a chance, ladies and gentlemen, there's a chance that Crash makes it back to Platinum in Rainbow Six. We're at Gold 2 and we're climbing. Okay. So we might get back to Platinum in Rainbow Six. That would be pretty hyped. Although Gunfight coming out on Wednesday is going to take some playtime. But
yeah, you're going to be all over that.
Yeah, I am going to be there. I'm a little bit worried about only 4 maps. I can't remember. I don't know. Do you guys remember how many 2019 launched with? I thought they had quite a few Gunfight maps. I can't remember. It was more than 4.
I want to say maybe like 6, 7, depending at launch, I think.
It was something
but they were
like
also
that.
Hyping that up, pre-alpha.
Right,
that was
like
the pre-alpha that we got on PlayStation before anyone else got it. It was Gunfight with, I think, like a 3-map rotation out the gate. So that was their baby.
Yeah.
There's a cat in front of me.
I see. Cat. All right, time out. Cat on the set. Cut. Yeah. And then I've been playing a little bit of 2042. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And Search and Destroy. The last 2 nights of Search and Destroy have been abysmal with cheaters, man. Like, holy dude.
It's been kind of rough.
I actually loaded up Tarkov again just to give it another go, especially with all the news coming out. I was like, let me start getting maybe refreshed for Arena, and I ran into out of the 4 raids I did, 3 of them had hackers. Jeez. Like just abysmal, just in your face hacking, like floating around, just. Dang. 3 out of 4 raids. I was like, this is worse. How did it get this bad? Like it's as bad as PUBG. So I'm just waiting for Arena. We'll talk about that later, though, for sure.
We'll get into that 100%. I took some notes. So when we get to that segment, I'll be looking down at my phone a lot because I was kind of watching that while I was working. Don't tell my boss. And I was jotting down some stuff to talk that Nikita was talking about on that Tarkov TV podcast. So we'll go over all the changes in there. A little bit of a teaser. He did say they were going to do something very drastic for cheaters. That's going to make it way more difficult for them. So, I mean, we're always here for that. Hopefully it's not just lip service. He in that podcast or stream or whatever you want to call it, he said so many things that people wanted to hear. And it almost was like he was saying all the right stuff. So it was like borderline pandering because it was like, man, I hope so. So if they can follow through with all that stuff, if Battlestate can, Tarkov could be looking a lot better in a couple years. It sounds like they're going to go a little bit lighter on content and a little bit more on like fixing stuff, which is 100% necessary. The way things are right now. But yeah, that's always, and I think it's always going to be a unique experience. So I'm hoping they can get that game playable for everybody without the cheaters and stuff. Other than that, have you guys been playing anything? I feel like I know what Buff's been playing.
Yeah, you already know.
I'm not 100% sure.
You don't even need to ask me anymore. It's just like assume I've been grinding DMZ like an animal.
We'll just assume from now on that you're DMZ. Yeah. That update, you got to be amped, right?
I'm pretty excited when we get into it. There's definitely a few things I'm like a little semi-concerned about, but we're really not going to know until we get hands-on. So we'll see. But I mean, I love the overhaul. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, which is good. So they're prioritizing that mode, which I really, really like. So.
How about you, Blue? What are you playing these days?
Lately, busy getting a job. Just got a email today.
What game is that? Is that on Steam?
It's no, I don't recommend that game. But I just got an email today actually from the program director for the gaming business and esports degree program. And they're like, hey, we liked what you saw. I got you're highly recommended. When can you come in and talk? So tomorrow morning I'll be talking with the director of that course. It's like a brand new course that they're building out too. So it's kind of cool that I'll be like
nice
leading charge a little bit. So
that's awesome.
Really just real stuff. And I did play Sons of the Forest a bit a while ago. With Durag, I was kind of like helping him out, learned the game for a little bit. Some cool updates there, but other than that, you know, I played some World War 3 this morning with some friends because it's always better in the morning, it seems like. So but other than that, I mean, again, it's like occasionally though, so it's just being a dad.
Is that
being a husband? I'm
starting to learn about that. Getting a crash course on that. Get it? Yay. And then is that Project Quarantine game? Is that out? Like where anyone can play it on Steam?
Anyone can come. Yeah, anyone can go and check it out. It's definitely, of course, I just took inspiration from the title and the thumbnail from our podcast.
Right.
And all the, it's got potential.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. And no, it's a pretty cool looking game. I definitely am craving. Tarkov needs to get knocked off its pedestal. I'm gonna just say that, but
they need to fix their shit, or yeah, we need a competitor.
It needs 100%. More competition in that entire genre.
Mm-hmm.
So any game that tries and actually puts out decent stuff. I mean, like, I'll be honest, whoever's their level designer needs some work, but it's like a tech demo. It really is just a tech demo at this point. They're like showcasing new AI and stuff like that. But we could actually, it'd probably save it a little bit more for that. The quick shots. To be honest, I feel like I can do that.
Yeah, drop whatever we think of, because I only have a couple in the Discord. We'll get to it at the end. We're prepared, guys. This is a wonderful FPS program.
Team, they took a weekend off for Easter, and all of a sudden,
they'll get it together on the fly. They're really good at flying by the seat of their pants all the time in life in general, literally all the time.
Love it.
Yeah, guys. Let's get into the topics. We actually have a ton of stuff to talk about, as you guys can see on the screen. Thank you for being here for the program. It's going to be a good one. We'll get through some stuff. Yeah, we're also a podcast. If you guys didn't know that, there's a couple of you guys that listen to it. Shout out to the audio folks. We appreciate you a bunch.
Love you guys.
And yeah, chat's on screen. You guys know we're broadcasting on several different channels. Chat's on screen. It's all combined, so pay attention to that. Add your thoughts, comments, and everything like that. We really appreciate having your guys' thoughts on screen, so when people go back, they know what you guys are up to, because I always love reading chat. So let's get into Modern Warfare 2 Season 3, and it's going to be heavy on DMZ. First thing I have pulled up is the roadmap on here. There's a couple things you can see. Warzone 2 is getting a ranked mode later on. That'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. There's a lot of changes coming to Warzone 2 that people are excited about. DMZ, I think we're probably going to hit that here in a second under a microscope, and really talk about DMZ quite a bit.
Hell yeah.
And then Black Cell. So the future of gaming is here, guys. We have a battle pass to the battle pass. There's a stacking battle pass. So I'm probably going to rant about that a little bit. And then, there's some Task Force 141 battle pass stuff. New weapons, new ops. Yeah. 6v6, again, only getting 2 maps. It's pretty sad. Gunfights coming. I'm better than everyone. Couple big maps, and then in season a new 6v6 map. So that'll help out quite a bit. Cranked, Ground War Infected, which will be wild, and then another raid in season. Let me see. Did you want to go ahead and get into the DMZ stuff, Buff?
Yeah, we can start. We can start wherever you want there. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So the first thing is I have the blog post pulled up. Hopefully everybody can see it except podcast listeners. Wah, wah.
Oh, wah, wah.
Yeah, so let's just go through some of the things that they're adding. The first thing is a barter system. Yeah, what's your understanding of this, Buff? It sounds like there's recipes that you can give to your operator, including components of a component list in order to build new equipment that can be more useful to your current situation. Good or bad? Thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's going to make for more unique and interesting gameplay situations. So I think the more stuff like this they add, which they're doing a lot this season, the better.
I honestly kind of thought this was going to be here from the rip because we had that crafting in the campaign.
Right. Yeah.
And I just remember crafting stuff in campaign because campaign came out a week earlier. I was like, oh, dude, this is 100% going to be you take it to be kind of similar to that, right? Like you'll bring stuff to the barter and kind of craft.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And you can sell some things to the trader or barter system, whatever. So as far as like everything you can do with that, not really sure yet. So again, I'm excited to kind of jump in and explore and just play with it, but it's definitely going to be useful.
It looks like the info we have here on that is bartering recipes will be available for most of the new plate carriers and backpacks, kill streaks, self revives, and keys. Whoa, you can craft or barter for keys. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That'll be helpful for those keys that you need and you can't find. Maybe you'll be able to find this stuff to barter for one. That's really cool. And then this is the other thing that I thought we kind of have, workbenches. For a nominal cash fee, the workbench allows operators to add attachments they have unlocked for any weapon platform onto a piece of contraband or insured weapon. Doesn't sound like you'll be able to add attachments to ones you pick up off of the AI. And in how I read that, operators can also remove them piece by piece. These workbenches provide this attachment swapping service, but for a price given how much it affects the weapon. So this is another thing that I said just a couple weeks after launch. I was like, there needs to be a way to. This is not quite what I thought, but there needs to be a way to loot attachments, right? But this is kind of a step that way, but it's not exactly it.
You're asking for too much, Crash.
Sorry. I always do. That's what you do. You aim high.
It's Activision, man. Yeah. It's Activision.
And I think they're kind of introducing like in baby steps though, because like see how this goes and then open it up a little bit more, because there is, especially with this season, they're adding a lot of things here. So there's a lot of layers that are going on, new layers that are happening all at once. So to kind of take baby steps with those, I think is a good idea because we're still in a beta phase with DMZ. So to kind of just see how everything is reacting in the game together, what the synergy is, and then continue to make smaller changes, I think it is a good way to go. Because if they introduced, I think if you're picking stuff up AI, I agree you should be able to put attachments on there, but there's so many other things at play here. If something happens bad with this update, as far as it affects the gameplay loop, I think you make too many big changes. It's going to be harder to understand where the problem is.
Yeah,
right. Incremental changes, and honestly, after season 2. Like the start of season 2, and there really wasn't much in there for DMZ. I was a little bit worried about the mode. I knew a lot of people enjoyed it. There wasn't much in here, and then you gotta breathe a little sigh of relief seeing all this content this season. I feel like there's a lot.
I just wish it came out with more. I'm not saying it needed to come with all of these aspects, but definitely it was very lackluster when it first came out. See how hype DMZ was.
Yeah, I agree. I do think though, if we're comparing it to the Hazard Zone, they knocked it out of the park. Even though
you compare me walking the Hazard Zone,
I completely agree. That being said, though, there hasn't been a moment in DMZ where I'm like, man, I'm bored. Like, there's nothing for me to do right now. So
because of the extraction game mode. Just the way that game mode plays.
Exactly. There's always something to do. So they're adding so many more layers here, which is great.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm on like a completely different headspace when it comes to that. I just think like extraction modes like have an inherent in-game issue. Like once you complete the challenges,
are you not an extraction game what do you do? Like fan or?
I don't think I am. I think I like Tarkov for just the experience of it. like the realism in the guns and stuff. I don't.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure.
But I mean, the other side of Tarkov is
all
like
your loot and stuff like that.
That's cool, and the gameplay is cool. But the other side of Tarkov is like you're never get. I'm a person like me is never going to be able to like get Kappa and beat it. But the people that do that, they're always like having to reset their account or restart or do some kind of challenge or something else to keep them wanting to play it. The people that play it a lot. And folks like us that aren't like 24/7 or, you know, full-time streamers, content creators, that's usually not an issue.
Yeah. Right.
So like that's why I enjoyed DMZ for a bit, because it was something I could just hop into a little bit instead of, you know, having to grind out like Tarkov and make sure my recoil is on par with someone that is supposed to be a tier 1 operator when in reality it's not the case. So it's just like, that's why on a Warfare, everyone has the same recoil patterns. It's the same feel, the look of the game. It's just, you know, how much time you want to put in for a certain raid or in a, you know, a skin or something like that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Or a blueprint, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I think I definitely think DMZ is a great mode. I don't think it's for me at this point. I can play like 2 or 3 raids and then I'm kind of over it, but it just might be how I'm playing it or whatever. I'm not 100% sure, but like when I go into search and destroy and I hear the edgelords like shouting slurs and stuff, and then I make them leave because we're destroying them so much, that's like tangible. I made another human that sucks feel like crap, and that makes me happy.
I'm glad there is VoIP in those type of games as well too. I'm glad Tarkov finally added it and stuff like that.
Only if they knew they were getting shit on by a middle-aged, half-drunk old man. That would make it even better. I usually try to let them know, but yeah, I don't know. I have a weird thought on and feeling on extraction games. I don't know where I'm at on them 100%. Because I could see there being a issue with endgame. Like eventually you'll run out of stuff to do. But I mean that's not always any games like that, right? I feel like you can get bored of anything.
I agree, but I think if they keep doing updates like this, I mean, one thing I think everything that we had talked about previously with this seems to be being addressed at some level with this season 3 update, especially. I mean, we talked about it in the past. Like, okay, we can't have like a stash of backpacks or plate carriers. So that's kind of been changed with you have like a 3 soldier system now. So you have like three separate soldiers that have their own sets of gear. So if I have all my soldiers geared up, they have their own set of gear. Yeah, exactly. So I can have all these guys have large backpacks, plate carriers, have these guys decked out. And if we die to a cheater or, you know, just some unfortunate luck or whatever, it's not, okay, we need to go and do a couple loot runs here. It's like, okay, well, I still have 2 geared up guys. So let's go right back in and work on these missions instead of resetting. So that, again, we've discussed this in the past. And I think this is, you know, they're addressing one of the things that we brought up previously in a slightly different way. But again, I think it'll be interesting to see how this, in addition to everything else, affects the gameplay loop too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Like that just clicked for me. I was reading through this earlier and I was like, why do you need different operators? Like I was thinking it was just like skins that you can use and stuff, but essentially you can look at it like it's almost this little stash. You can have them, they can keep their stuff and use them.
And you know who does that already? God, Tacti just made a video about it today. Hunt Showdown.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like where you have different people you kind of just buy up or have on the side that come with their own specific, you know, what's the word? Kind of like not ideas, but like they have their that too. They come with their own specific loadout and their own perks, I would say. There you go. And of course, the more expensive the person, the better the perks and better the loadout. But it's not overpowered either. It's not like a pay to win type system.
Okay.
So yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised. Have you ever played Hunt Showdown, Crash?
No, I hear the
Dude,
rumblings that I
out of
should
all
play it a
games,
lot.
I'm surprised you never played, especially the amount of lever action guns they have in that game.
Mm.
Old school cowboy loads and just, like they got some really interesting weapons there.
Man, I just think lever guns are the perfect guns to suppress because you keep the action close.
I keep looking at yours, but I had a buddy brought his to the gun shop, and I just I just say, what does Battlefield have a lever action? I think
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
There's a 4570. But I'm just saying, like, for being suppressed, they're again that much quieter because the action stays closed, so no gas and sound escapes from the side. But it's still considered like a repeater. Then you can rack it and you're ready to shoot again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as quiet as a bolt action, but your rate of fire is a lot faster. I think it's like the perfect gun to suppress because even with the AR when it's suppressed, you get some gases and you get some sound coming out of the chamber. But that one stays closed.
That's true too. Yeah, the sound of the bolt retracting and stuff like that. But definitely Hunt Showdown does it really well. So I can see this being a very viable and yeah, just kind of just like, build your own group of soldiers.
Yeah. It's good.
It's essentially like a little inventory. That's a really cool way to look at it. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, what if can you switch between each raid?
Yeah, when you're out,
you
right?
can before you go in, you can select which one you want.
So can they act like mini like storage?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, you have like your select spots. So it'll be like your backpack, your plate carrier, your perk, your self res, and I think like your field upgrade is what will be on them, as well as your dog tag.
And then you could switch between each, put that on some other operator and stuff like that. And
so it would stay on that specific one. So like if I leveled up operator 1, then I would go in. If operator 1 is fully geared, then I would bring in operator 2, make sure he's fully geared. And get
what if
all
operator 2 dies?
Then I would need to go back in and do a loot run for him. But since we have 3 operators if they're all looted up, I'll just bring in the other one. Yeah, you keep it. It's not like there's a cooldown.
Okay. See, that's what happens in Hunt when you die in raid, you lose that person, and then like a new cycle of different operators goes through.
They might do that. I didn't see where they said that, but again, that could be something. If it's not here, that it could be something that they add, if depending on again what the gameplay loop ends up looking like. So
yeah,
might just be some insane PvP and again, one of those other things is like that on the next slot there, Crash, is the backpack system. So the new backpack just kind of acts like a one of them acts like a secure container, kind of like Tarkov, where you can bring things out securely. From my understanding,
and then if you go down,
you still keep
no one can reach. Yeah.
So if you die, you still keep it. So that secure container is essentially one of these new backpacks.
I enjoy that for a lot of those type of games, extraction games.
I think it's good, especially with the missions. I mean, there's so many times like, all right, we got this document, now we need to get out, and then it's the same thing with Tarkov. You're running that, so just to be able to, if I can go to the buy station and buy this backpack,
even if I lose everything else,
as
long as I got the quest item, I can continue the game. I'm not getting hindered by others outside sources.
Right.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like they need to be pretty rare though, because that's another one of the things about extraction game modes that I do like. There's a serious tension there when you have a loot item and you're trying to get out with it.
Yeah.
Try not to die to keep it. Like, that's
so
a
it's
big part of the
where
adrenaline.
People would come in and be like, "Oh, they don't need secure container. That's not the point of the game."
I think it's cool because the secure container has a lot of utility, and you can make that in and of itself a really cool item to seek out and find. Like I think it adds depth, and it's
especially
good.
if you're on like a big mission. It's like, okay, if I lose this, it's gonna be a pain. So I better bring in my secure container backpack.
Exactly.
That way, I guarantee I don't need to redo this. So
and how I would think it would work is like somebody could loot the secure container, but they don't get the stuff inside. So you lose your backpack, but you keep this stuff. I don't know how that would work, but
I don't. Unless they change the system, you can't steal people's
another
backpacks,
game called Stallcraft, which is like a really indie game. You have like your own personal stash that has like binded items to you, and when you go down and you die, those binded items, the person who grabs that backpack can't open it up, but they can sell the backpack as a whole, but for like way cheaper than what would be originally in there. So like they only, instead of getting, something that's worth 2,000 rubles in the backpack, now they sell the backpack for like 200 rubles. That's it. Like but I don't know, they can't introduce that into DMZ, but it's just I think if you die if it's your container, you keep it.
Yeah.
And then you walk out with that.
Yeah, they didn't really say specifically how it will work if you die, other than like you'll keep the stuff that's in the secured slots for it. So
I like the new vest though. I think those are kind of
there's like 4 different ones here. The only one that's concerning to me is the ghost one, but again, going back and thinking about it, not really. I'm assuming the ghost one is that white and red one, so like it's easy
I think
to see.
No, that's the medic one.
Medic one, right?
Because it's got the cross on it.
Okay.
The ghost is probably what the black one, I assume, most likely. Or the stealth one. Yeah, so tempered, revive, comms, and stealth. The comms is, I'm just
okay.
It sounds cool, but
I like the way they look too. I mean, in the ghost one, originally I was concerned about it. I was talking with Justin about it, and then I thought about it a little bit more. It's like, when you're in gunfights in DMZ, you're never really it's rare that you're really, really relying on UAVs anyways. And if you're engaging a team, you're typically going to assume it's 3 until the bodies disappear, and then you'll know, okay, that's a team wipe. So, I mean, you just really can't rely as heavily as you would on UAV towers or UAVs, but it's really not, I don't think it's going to have as big as of like a negative impact as I initially thought it would, because rarely in firefights, maybe 20% of the time, UAV. You'll have a tower activated, maybe you'll have UAVs, but it really, it shouldn't impact the gameplay loop that much, I don't think.
Man, these vests are actually pretty cool. I hadn't had time to go through that. They add a lot. So you have the tempered one, which again is only 2 plates to fill. So just really quickly, the 3-plate medic vest gives you faster revives on squad mates as well as faster self revives. So it essentially, if you're weighing that, it puts you kind of into the medic role of your squad. I think that's really cool.
Yep.
Then you have a 3-plate
revives on your teammates. Yeah,
that's really cool. Then you have a 3-plate comms vest. It has a lot of benefits. It looks like increases the duration of all UAVs, kill streaks, UAV towers, and enemy radios dropped by AI. It makes them function as advanced UAVs. They also show, so you guys know what that is.
It's like if you were calling it in yourself. That's kind of cool.
And then the other one that's perk with this vest, it gives you an audio cue when an enemy operator is close to you, like an auditory version of the high alert perks. If you guys know, the high alert perk will flash yellow on your screen, whichever side the direction someone sees you. It sounds like this will be an audio cue for that out of the vest. That's pretty crazy. And then the stealth.
I mean, I think the comms vest is the best sounding one, in my opinion, right now.
It's got a lot to it.
Like a solo person.
The stealth one's going to be stout too, because if it keeps you off, the stealth plate carrier comes with built-in ghost perk, keeping you off enemy radars. So that's going to be pretty damn strong.
I'm glad it's not like silent, ninja footsteps either.
As long as it's not that, I really don't.
That would have been too much. Yeah.
It's like as long as it's not that, I really don't care. I mean, we always in firefights we always have good comms and we know what we're doing at this point. So I mean, if you're not on a UAV, I'm always going to assume, because think about it, like you can have up to teams of 7 if you're joining up. So to assume there's just 3 or whatever, we always assume there's more players until the bodies.
Yep, where there's one, there's always more.
Yeah, until the bodies are gone and we know they've left the game and we know it's a team wipe. Then we're always like still on alert. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Maybe it'll be more helpful to like solo players or low skill players, but I don't think it'll impact the greatest DMZ player in the game like me. So
I kind of like this system because that was one of the very, very few shining things with Hazard Zone, was you could like equip the specialist to have your own role within the squad, right? So we would need a Falcon, we would need to take an Angel to drop ammo and stuff. Like this kind of sets up a role. This kind of sets up a role. So the guy with the comms vest, you let them pick up the streaks and run the UAVs and stuff. You have the medic. The stealth carrier could be like your entry, like into a building or something. Like kind of the tip of the spear. So I don't know. That's pretty cool. Set up kind of roles on the team with the vest. I like that a lot. What's next? The skeleton key? Whoa. The skeleton key can unlock nearly any door in DMZ. The only exception is getting the building 21 access key.
Yeah. So that should be really cool for quests where the keys are hard to find. If you get the skeleton key, depending on how rare it is, that'll be really cool. So that'll definitely be helpful for.
So like
for a
what
lot
the
of
rarer
rooms.
the skeleton key, the more buildings you'll be able to open up, or
Yeah, I mean it'll go for like anything except for you still need a access card for building 21, but it'll open any door is what it's pretty much what it's saying. So
yeah, so it says these keys can be created through a special barter system recipe. So that's what we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Because every item can matter in DMZ, so you'll have to barter, and
which is good because now I'm not going to be just picking up random
Right.
things and
Yeah.
having just to sell them or
right, exactly.
That was another one of my complaints about DMZ was all these cool sounding items are essentially cash because the only thing you can do with them is sell them. But now you can barter them for stuff like a skeleton key. So this update is adding a lot of depth to the gameplay.
This is just the start. I feel like you said earlier, like slowly putting this out, testing it, see the community feedback, and then I would assume it would go well. What comes after this?
Right, exactly.
And then so you can save it for those incredibly tough to find keys. So instead of having to find that key, you just got to find the barter items and trade for the skeleton key. And then you better hope you got a secure backpack to get that skeleton key out.
Right.
That'd be pretty scary.
Yeah, I want to just keep it in your secure
So
container.
I mean with all these different items and stuff and where items matter, it's gonna start giving you a little bit of that apprehension, that adrenaline, that paranoia. Like if you have a good item and you're trying to survive.
Yeah, exactly. If you got a spool of wire and you kill someone that has the other part you need, it feels a lot more like, yes, I won more than just like, oh, here's a weapon that I'm not going to be able to pick. I don't want to pick up.
Yeah, and I felt like a little bit in DMZ, it was almost too far of a shift from Tarkov to where when I died in DMZ, I didn't care like at all. But this might add like a little bit of that, like a little bit of I got to start
games
over.
Need to, especially when games are trying to take influence and inspiration from other games, they need to realize that they don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time.
Right. Stick with what works and improve on it. Supply run contract. So yeah, new supply run. That's the same thing that's been in BR for a while. It looks like.
Yeah, that'll be
basic.
Cool.
Pretty basic there.
What's up here?
I'm excited. I want to get back into it now.
This is a big one. This exfil stuff is huge. This is one of those things we were talking about.
Is there a wipe coming? Is there something along those lines?
No wipe right now. So I mean, thankfully, but I mean, they're adding. So they're adding these heavy choppers back. But the caveat is they're out of gas. I don't know if there's going to be one or multiple
gas canisters or something like that.
You got to bring gas canisters, and it acts as you can exfil on this. So basically, you got to
be the only one to. I'm looking at the one on the. I'm looking at that one, and it's just one long bridge out in the open. People are going to be camping that, ready for someone to just be like,
assuming it spawns there every time. I don't know if it'll be there at port
if it changes
or over a high rise, but you gotta fill it. You gotta fill up the tanks with gas, and then you can take that and fly it out of bounds, and it'll serve as an extract for you.
You'll fly manually.
Yeah, so you
can. That's pretty cool.
I can if we're tight and we need to get out of here or something, bring a bunch of gas. Fill that thing up, get in it, and we can fly it out of bounds. And once you hit the out of bounds marker, it'll start.
I gotta get back to DMZ for sure. That's the only. So for someone who hasn't played Call of Duty in a while, would getting back and just maining DMZ, would that be an issue, or would that?
No, you'll be fine. That's if anyone hasn't played in a while, like I DMZ is what I recommend. I mean, it's pretty easy, and they're adding a lot of things here. Like, because exfilling was always kind of a. If we got into, there was a couple of occasions we got into really big firefights, and we were just like bunkered down for so long and couldn't get out. And by the time that last final extract comes, we're just rushing there. And there's a couple of times we weren't able to make it, or teams are already camping there, just waiting for you to come in. So this chopper adds another way out. And there's another thing here, which is you can buy it at the buy stations, I believe, is essentially like a personal extract that you can call in for yourself. So there's going to be 2 different ways to exfil now. This big bird, and then you can buy something that'll allow you and your squad to get out. So again, if we're rushing against the gas, if we're rushing against the gas and we're like, holy crap, we're not going to make it, like, get to a spot where you're a little bit away from the circle pull or the push of the gas and drop that thing, and the bird will come in and get you.
That's really cool.
That's big. It's really big.
I do worry a little bit about the balance of this thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but we won several BR games flying around in the heavy chopper.
Yeah, I remember that was a thing.
That's why they took it out. It was so strong. So it had low gas. So we would get in it and fly around to the gas stations and fuel it.
Yeah.
And
I think that's incentive to bring some freaking javelins then, I mean, if that thing's going to be there and it's going to be a problem, like someone in your squad, bring a javelin,
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that big of a deal especially if you had
I was so strong in BR, man.
If you have 3 of your slots, like I have all 3 of my weapon slots, like for me to for all 3 of us to have a slot and just bring in a javelin, if it's even our insured or a contraband, I think, if it does turn into a problem. Wednesday. Yep.
Ooh, dang it.
Coming out.
Be busy. Guess I'm playing Thursday. All right.
And then Striken says we need boats for exfil, which I think that's probably the next thing that's going to come. Honestly, that'd be pretty
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's much else. I think that's the main stuff in DMZ. But
yeah, I think it's the main stuff for DMZ. And
that's a lot of cool changes.
Yeah. How much more time do you want to dedicate to the roadmap for the season changes? You want to just run through the weapons and some things quick, or?
Yeah. We need to talk about the weapons with you here for sure. Intervention.
Yeah. You can pull up the roadmap. I mean, they're adding gunfight. There's night maps are returning, which is big. So MVG mode, thank God. That's a big one. I'm pumped for that. I know you want to talk about the black cell thing, so I'll just kind of breeze through. We have the maps.
I don't have much to say.
Okay. Alejandro and Valeria coming. And then for, the main thing I think everyone's pumped about, at least myself, is the weapons. So the Tritech M200 intervention making a return. That'll be really cool. And
nice.
Since last week when we talked about this, they revealed the second one. That's that General Dynamics True Velocity NGSW bid for the NGSW AR platform, the RM277 or the Amicus. So
that they just added to Battlefield, right?
They just added it to Battlefield, but I mean, I was watching the Battlefield gameplay, and it doesn't really function like this thing would in real life.
Dude, in Battlefield, it's an absolute.
Is that a Tech 9?
Yeah, it's a Tech 9. But I mean, the Tech 9 fits. The Tech 9 for me fits because this theme is more of like
the Sicario. Fits the So
I think
Tech
that's
9.
I know, right? Of all things, but I think that's fine. I'm most excited here for the RM277. This thing. 6.8 by 51 millimeter. I still prefer this one over.
Oh, was that was the new Army.
This one lost to the Spear. Yeah, this lost to the Spear for that NGSW bid, next generation squad weapon. What
company was this again? No, you just said it.
It's General Dynamics and True Velocity.
Oh, yeah.
So True Velocity.
I'm surprised you didn't get it. Jeez.
True Velocity did the ammo for this. It's polymer ammo. And I mean, obviously it's a bullpup weapon system, but they did a lot with
design. We're not British.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to this, but I mean, honestly, if you're looking at like revolutionizing the firearm industry, this bid did it.
I mean, you're getting the same barrel length in such a shorter platform.
Yeah, so it's a 19 or a 20-inch barrel, and it's shorter than the M4, which is huge.
So you still get even effective range with a bigger caliber, more grain.
Right. The velocity is insane, and the power behind it. The NGSW program was literally designed to defeat body armor, which is future body armor is just comparable to ours. In that round, the velocity of that, outperforms anything that the 5.56 can do. And because they're using polymer ammo with this bid, the ammo is so much lighter and the velocity is greater than a 7.62. So this is a crazy, crazy design. And True Velocity, who did the ammo, I mean, instead of like reinventing the wheel, they went out and basically were like, okay, this ammo can do all of this. So let's go to let's get our hands on an M24 platform. Let's go over to Knights and Knights Armor Company and work with them. And what they and with the M240 Bravo, all they did was bring in new barrels to switch with these weapons that were accepting of the 6.8 by 51 millimeter round, and it lightened the load of the weapon and improved the accuracy and range over it. So nice. I mean, like the M240, when you do the barrel swap for this true velocity polymer ammo, the 6.8 by 51 millimeter, you're able to carry more ammo because it's lighter.
That's
you're getting
a big round.
better velocity out of the round, the bullet, and it doesn't overheat the weapon as much. Like I was watching a lot of footage of guys just dumping with the M240, opening up the feed tray, putting their hand in there, and it's cold to the touch. You take the casings for the ammo, the casings for the ammo, putting it on their face. It's cold. So yeah, it doesn't even the overheating. It's crazy how big of a revolutionary step this was for the weapons industry. True Velocity, I think, is going to continue to push forward with that ammo. I'm definitely bummed the RM277 didn't get selected because I think it did a lot of new things that talk about next generation. I mean, that screams next generation to me. So I'm pumped for that weapon. That's all I'm going to use probably the entire freaking season. Then we have the Tech 9, goes with the Sicario theme. And then we're going to also be getting, I think, the STI 2011 pistol, which will be 45 ACP, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh,
and there'll be a full auto conversion for that as well. So that'll be somewhere down the road in the mid-season or after. But that's I believe, for the most part, pretty much the high points for the season.
With those new polymer rounds, are they lighter? Is the projectile lighter? Would that not transfer energy as good?
It's lighter. It's a lighter round, but the grainage for the round, and because the casing's lighter, you're getting. However, it's proprietary, so that there's not anything really specific about it. But yeah, you're getting a lot more power and velocity with the round.
Sweet.
And it's smaller than a 7.62 by 51. It's a 6.8 by 51. And you're getting a better effect with that round, and for a lighter weight,
carry more
magazines. Exactly. Yep. So it's a pretty big deal.
Interesting. The other thing I want to mention before I forget, gameplay wise, I did see Charlie Intel tweeted that they are going to make a couple one-shot sniper platforms return to Warzone with certain platforms and configurations.
Yep. Yeah, so
sounds like
we said that last week, didn't we? They were listening to us.
Yeah, they are. They're
every
here.
time for talk about the operators. Now they're bringing in both. Now one-shot sniper rifles, bringing them in. See?
Which is exactly what we said last week. It'll be a specific combination of attachments to do it. So that's perfect.
Stay tuned to the program, and you get all the answers early because we essentially tell Activision what to do with their game, and they listen. So
100%.
Yeah, stay tuned here. Except which one of you guys told them to make a premium battle pass on top of the battle pass that you can't buy with COD points? You have to give them $30.
That was definitely the CEO of Activision. For sure.
Not me. That's a little weird, huh?
It's really shitty, and you can't really complain about it.
Price game.
Yeah, you can't really complain about it. It's just a shake my head thing. I can't complain about it because it's not like pay to win. There's nothing it's just cosmetics, right? So you can never really complain about cosmetics. It just shows that they're putting design and time and effort into designing for whales. It's like they're exploiting their most lucrative customers by adding yet another battle pass, and then to put on top of that, you can't use your COD points that you earned. You actually have to pay $30 cash.
Yeah.
Look at your card, please.
Yeah.
I do think though.
Whatever.
I agree. I completely agree. I don't think they've shown anything about this. They've given some high level stuff with it, but I'm gonna look at it on day one and see, is it even worth it? Because some of the cosmetics for the operator, the black cell operator, and the M4 that comes with it, the blueprint, that's just some goofy golden crap that I'll never use. So unless there's something actually good in here, some good Task Force 141 skins and things like that, I wouldn't be spending the money on it. But on the other hand, I'm also looking at this. I mean, we've been talking so much in recent shows about the, when are they going to bring back the premium system? So this, in my mind, depending on what the content is, maybe this is the next iteration of what we remember as like premium on top of the get all this free stuff. Maybe this is a way to introduce that premium type content in addition, but it's a double-edged sword because, like you said, Crash, is it just a way to get money, right?
Yeah,
or is it, hey, we're doing this, but you guys, that's what is kind of concerning with that I haven't heard yet is, hey, this is the Black Cell Pass. This is what you get. And this money is going towards guaranteed content for X amount of time, guarantee this. That's what I haven't heard yet. If that is what they're doing, and like this keeps more developers on staff for a longer period of time, which is kind of the problem we've talked about with like Battlefield and other games, I'm all for it, and I'll pay it gladly if we are getting guaranteed stuff in the future that they can kind of outline for us with some sort of roadmap. But if they can't do that and there's not really anything good in there, I'm not paying $30 for it.
So here's what it is according to Charlie Intel. The premium battle pass upgrade will include a new operator, a new blueprint plus cosmetic items, 1,100 COD points, bonus sectors in the battle pass, and 12 bonus operator skins. And they all have that black cell. They have a really cool look to them. Like gold plating everything, gold plated M4 and all that stuff. It looks really cool. But what it is I think since these microtransactions have developed to be the revenue of choice moving forward with games, there's developed a class of customer that's the whales, right? That buy everything, that buy everything, and they can exploit those and that's, if you're one of those people, like, and you have that disposable income, you acquired that money, you do whatever the hell you want with it. Like, I'm not judging, but this is for you. Like, this is for them. And it's just like
I mean, it's also like, look at the, you know, all the content creators, like for myself, if there's something in there that's like, oh, that's a blueprint I should be making a video on. Like I audit for one blueprint or one skin, I have to drop $30 to cover it. You know what I mean? So so look at all the, you know, I
definitely want more realistic
be doing this.
skins for sure. But I mean,
and I don't know what the skins are gonna, you know, 12, 13 operator skins in this sounds awesome, but I want to see what they all look like.
I don't want more cat ears. I don't want more bulges.
Yeah, no more bulges.
Too
Wasn't a big
bad.
fan of that.
Too bad.
But yeah, I mean, if the stuff looks good, if the stuff looks good, I'll definitely get it. But for what we're seeing with this little teaser that they have there, not loving it. I mean,
I just remember what you had said about you buy this skin and you essentially are paying more than we used to pay for premium pass for the whole year for all those maps, all those guns, all those upgrades.
Right.
And it's just like, I would so much rather have that, but they make more money doing this just because there's people out there that buy everything. But
$30, like 12 operator skins, and when we can look at it all, $30 for all of that is relatively cheap. There's a couple of store items that cost like $24 for a single bundle. So I mean, you put it in that perspective, I think people are looking at two different things here. It's like, oh, it's actual real world money. But then you look at like COD points and look at how that translates to real world money. Like this is still cheaper than some bundles, essentially. So
which is wild to me. Which I don't get.
But people aren't putting two and two together as like, what is my COD points? What is that in money? How does that translate? You know, what's one COD point to the US dollar? You know, so that's something that I think.
Is there any reasons to use COD points in
that? Well, I mean, that's the only way that's the in-game currency. That's the only way you can do go through the battle pass. That's the only way you can buy store bundles. Like none of those store bundles, you can use real world money besides like a few here and there. And then with this, so
here's a couple shots of the 6v6 maps.
Yeah, some of these night maps are going to be sick. MVGs, flashlights. Flashlights are going to be a big addition to this. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
That'll be sick with the MVGs too. You just blind the heck out of people. Especially there's that one flashlight that only is active when you ADS. So like might be overpowered.
I do wish there was like a
toggle system. I know,
or something. Yeah,
I want a laser light toggle. Would be sick.
That's actually what I'm actually gonna grab one of those soon as well too for my AR.
I need to do the same. I'm not gonna go spending big money on an actual PEC 15 or something like that, but get some goofy knockoff.
But this, I have to try to think about this with a little bit of an open mind, though. Normally we used to get 4 multiplayer maps, and in this season we're gonna get 3. So two because
it's 3 more than we were getting last season. Right?
Yeah. So like I see two maps and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? But then there's another one. It's like then we're 3/4 the way there, and then we're getting gunfight with 4 maps, and that's gonna have maps coming with it. And, it's just
there's
like
some good maps with gunfight. So really, you're getting more than 3. If you're just talking 6v6, it's 3. That's if we're looking at only 6v6.
They're getting better. They're getting better.
It's better.
They're doing better. They're doing better than Battlefield.
It's better.
They're
I'm
getting
doing
better
than Battlefield.
But they're still not where they should have been. From the start. So.
But, yeah. So these night maps are looking pretty cool.
Now the other thing that I kind of wanted to touch on really quick is season 2, right? Seemed really weird as far as the Japanese theme. Season 3 is the first one that like continues. That feels more like it's part of the game.
Exactly, dude.
And they said the rumor was that this was supposed to be season 2 right here. And
that's what I heard as well too. And I think you mentioned
resurgence that and all that. Yeah.
What's your angle on this? What's your angle? Where are you hearing this from? Is this rumors? What's going on?
Rumors and innuendo. Yeah,
the Twitterverse.
Trust me, bro.
Twitterverse. Some of those insiders, but regardless, I mean, this is the first season that actually continues the story of the campaign, right? I mean, we actually have featured operators that are from the game. Go figure. We're getting Task Force 141 coming in. Soap is coming mid-season. So this is
so sorry,
somebody we joke about it, but somebody's got to be listening to the show because everything we've talked about for months is now coming in all in this season.
Well, because we're not the only ones talking about it or complaining about it. Especially dude, scroll through the comments on the Twitter. On any Activision post, we're just like an echo chamber at this point. But
right, I mean, we didn't even get into the Warzone 2 changes, which we don't need to. I think Warzone 2.
Nah, Warzone sucks.
None of us are playing it.
Sucks.
None of us are playing it, but for those people that have been disappointed, I think they're making a lot of good changes.
They sound good to me. And it's probably going to get me back into playing a little bit of Rebirth from time to time with a group of friends that enjoys that if I bring them back to it. The main thing being the one-shot sniper. I don't know why. I just really like that. That's always been like a thing in CODs. And it sounds like they're doing what we said, where they're going to make it on a specific platform that you have to set up a specific way. And I'm guessing it's going to handle like dog shit, and the bullet's probably going to be pretty slow, and it's going to be pretty hard to hit people, which I'm fine with. Like, make it like a skill cannon, right?
It should be, there should be a skill gap, not Modern Warfare 2019 car.
The Car 98 on Resurgence Island was insane, dude. It was so strong.
Those damn Germans, man, just. I don't know why we ever made any other guns. Should have just taken all the World War II stuff the Germans had and just
can laser people from miles away, no problem.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, that was that before or after the laser guns that came in World War II?
That was before. That was
before the laser. Okay.
Right. And then after the holographic sights.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I guess we
my grandpapa used.
He told me about it on his knee at Christmas time. Yeah. I guess we've been talking. There's a lot of stuff with COD, man. I realize it's a big update. Yeah. The last thing I think we should talk about is this is kind of interesting. Just a little something else. Trophy hunt event kicks off with season 3. Essentially, what this is certain players, depending on what mode you're playing, is when it happens. There's an in-game token that players drop, and you pick it up, and then you can use those tokens to unlock cosmetic items in the event tab. So if you're playing multiplayer DMZ, operators are going to drop these trophy tokens. Set and search and destroy each round you kill a unique operator, you get one of them. But then you kind of have to extract with them or win the game in Warzone, and you get these trophy tokens, and you can unlock the cosmetics on that pass. That's pretty cool. So
multiplayer, you got to win the round or the game, and then Battle Royale, you got to win the entire I guess what would you call a round? I guess a round in Battle Royale, is that what you would call it?
A game, yeah, I guess.
So how you get them is in multiplayer, every unique enemy that you kill drops one trophy, and you have to pick it up in order for it to be banked. It's kind of like kill confirmed. It looks like you drop it.
So as long as you pick it up, you're fine. You don't have to like pick it up and then win. Yeah.
It sounds way harder to get it in Warzone 2. It sounds way harder. Both enemies and operators and AI combatants drop trophies. Trophies are lost upon death, so win the match or bank them at a buy station. So in Royale, Resurgence, Plunder, you can bank them at a buy station. So you go there, buy stuff, you can keep those, and then you can use them when you get out, win or lose. And then it says in DMZ, both enemy ops and AI combatants drop trophies. Trophies are lost upon death. Successfully exfil or bank them at a buy station. So if you exfil with them in DMZ, you're good. Or if you go to a buy station, you can bank them and then use it when you get out to the menu. So
Sweet.
That's a neat deal.
This is a huge season, man. So I mean, if this doesn't, if
it's
anyone's
just, I'm just curious how it's gonna,
massive.
especially for someone who is gonna kind of reintroduce themselves into Modern Warfare. I'm curious how the entire, especially coming from a bunch of indie games, and I've heard nothing but complaints about how the game plays. Certain things are still meta. Like
that's true, but dude, you don't run into any of that crap in DMZ. The worst you ever get is some cheaters here and there. Like DMZ, everyone. That's the thing is, I'm so glad there's DMZ because me playing Battle Royale and Modern and the old Warzone was extremely stressful especially those last two games that came out, those iterations of Warzone. This time around with DMZ, I'm watching everyone complain about Warzone, and I'm just over here having the time of my life every time I play. None of that meta crap. Cheaters here and there, it can get a little frustrating, but just the amount of stress that is removed because I'm not playing Warzone is great. So definitely just play DMZ and call it a day.
Not a lot of stress.
I need stress.
You can tell by my Twitter, obviously, that I'm never stressed.
Yeah, you're super chill, man. Sounds like you're just over there having time of your life.
Just vibing.
Yeah. Yeah. There you are.
It's just my Yorkness comes out. That's all.
New Yorkness.
I'm
shooting here.
Yeah, I'm streaming over here.
Come on, I'm walking here. What are you doing?
I'm making coffee.
You gotta walk the dog, and you're just over here cheating and killing me, man.
Goddamn camper.
Right in the corner. Lord Almighty.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well,
great
I
update.
think
I'm pumped.
I love it.
Man, I think that's that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
we
stuff.
got it, man.
All right, end of the show. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yeah, thanks for coming. We don't have time to talk about anything else. Let's hit up some Tarkov news recaps. I'll see if I can get through that in a reasonable amount of time. Last week there was a podcast. The thing that I'm most excited about, if you saw my channel, was Arena. I'm pretty excited to see how Arena plays.
I'm excited for Arena for sure.
Yeah,
Contract Wars remastered.
That's what I thought. I was gonna say, Crash, you did a great video on that. You did a great video, so definitely people should go to Crash's channel and check that out. But I think that's what I commented. I said Contract Wars V2. I think was my comment.
Essentially, that's what it's like.
Looks great. Though.
It's not a bad, and it was Contract Wars wasn't a bad game.
No, it was. I mean, that's a good thing. That's a great. Contract Wars was sick. So this is pretty sweet.
So let me try to run through some of the changes, and we can stop and get your guys' comments on some of the bigger ones. One of the things that was going to be really cool was dynamic boxes. So they did a little teaser. Loot boxes are going to be in different places, like all over the map. So essentially there would be boxes and you kind of knew where they were and you could make a loot run. Now, like, you could be going through the woods and randomly come upon a box. So that'll be kind of neat to move stuff around, change things up. I think one of the biggest problems with Tarkov is like the predictability, where people know routes that people take. Like the really good players know where people spawn, and they know that somebody should be crossing here in just a little bit. You know who's that person? Yeah, it's usually me. So then they did, he said over 25,000 bans alone in March. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. One thing, it's good because he got rid of them. The other side is like there were 25,000 people they caught that were cheating.
I was going to say.
He said they're working with BlueTheRobot and they're planning something big to make life miserables for cheaters. Impossible, much harder to code cheaters. That's what I hope, man. I'm like, anybrain.gg, call my friends up over there. They don't know who I am, but I think they're amazing. Call them up and get that going. The other thing that was really, really big, they're going to be over the summer, I do believe, updating to Unity 2021. So it's an engine upgrade essentially, and it's going to allow them to do a lot for optimization. If you guys are familiar with Tarkov, it definitely needs that. They hired a couple technologists, he said, to rewrite the base code. Now, this was huge because a lot of the problems that Tarkov has had have been engine related and what they call spaghetti code. So just a lot of code that's been patched by different people. It's not organized. It's kind of all over the place. They hired some people to go back and rewrite the base code for Tarkov to make it easier to find bugs and easier to work with and stuff like that. So that was really big. I mean, he said a lot of stuff in this thing. Big changes.
Makes sense. So she coming from Unity as well too, and making their own version of their own engine, but with Unity.
Yeah. So then, going to Unity 2021 is going to allow them to change things with optimizations he called culling. So like when something, especially in Streets of Tarkov, when something's not on your screen, it's going to essentially disappear and your graphics card won't have to render it. So like when you're inside a building and you're in a hallway, the rest of everything is going to disappear. So you're only rendering what's in there.
Just your field of view. Yeah.
So right now you're
wait, so that wasn't happening before?
It is, but it's a lot slower and it's not as tight. So it does happen, and they said there are going to be a lot of LOD changes. They're going to update models and stuff like that. They said these changes have allowed them to do optimizations to where they've had as many as 60 players in one area with minimal frame drops. Wow. So he eventually, there's going to be, sounded like 3 or 4 expansions to Streets, and he eventually wants to have 60 PMCs on that map.
I mean, isn't that the whole point of, eventually the game? You know, when it gets to that point,
to get bigger. Well,
he wants it gets to that point.
Well, I think they eventually want to hook all the maps together and open it up.
Yeah.
Like
an open world. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they have tested, and people. He was getting mad because people in the chat were not believing him that they could do 60 players. He said they're going to put out a video soon to show that they can do it.
It doesn't have the greatest track record, so I mean, you know,
right?
I'm not a fan of him. Anyways.
I don't think many people are. Recoil rework this summer. So that's a big deal. He said he likes the recoil now, but a lot of people don't. So they're going to do a complete recoil rework that you'll see. There's a big boss area coming to Streets. So the inside area of Streets of Tarkov where the car dealership is, that's going to get fortified. It's going to be similar to the water treatment base with all the raiders and stuff that's on the lighthouse map. So it's going to be there's going to be mines. Eventually 2 bosses and all their goons and stuff are going to be in there. They're going to have grenade launchers. PKMs are coming, LMGs. And there's also going to be LAV vehicle coming. I think he was the BSR is what he called it. The vehicle coming. They did updates to the blind fire animation. So it used to just be the characters would kind of stay static. This is one of the unique things of Tarkov. Like Battle State games, like whatever. Tarkov is such a crazy game. You can right now when you do a blind fire over cover, the arms just move. In this one, they updated the cosmetic or the animations to where the whole body moves and like to the side instead of just the arms taking the gun. It looked unnatural. Your body leans a little bit.
It looks more like your
nice.
Yeah, it looks cool. A lot.
That's a little thing for sure.
The BTR.
I'm glad
BTR
it's there, but
the BTR they're adding. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other. They're adding BlueTheRobot to Streets.
And they've had
it's just my face with a smile on the front of the BTR.
So essentially what it is like you've seen the Thanksgiving Day parade where they have like the Stewie Griffin balloon. It's going to be that, but it's going to be blue and it's going to have a bunch of scabs riding on it. And BlueTheRobot's going to bring the scabs into Street. So it's just
and just, you know.
Yeah, you get a cheeky breaky and bring him in. It's going to be great.
Horns,
one thing he did talk about that was really cool is updates to the silencer system, visual effects and sounds. And also, I think what he was trying to say, his English is kind of rough sometimes. I think there's going to be a difference that we were just talking about earlier about subsonic versus supersonic ammo. I think you're going to be able to hear those cracks with supersonic, and then the subsonic's going to be quieter. And then suppressors are going to degrade visually. They're going to slowly shoot out where they get louder. Dirty.
Oh, it's gonna do it starts like baffling, starts hitting like
so that's
just see sparks come out of your suppressor.
Yeah.
Whoops.
They are going to completely redesign the trade menu, which is really necessary. He showed some images of that. There's going to be, me and my friend Ham have been calling for this since we started playing, a gear preset editor. So you can make a preset with all your gear. armor, helmet, everything. Like you can with the gun right now, you can make the weapon presets and then buy everything at once. This is going to be for your whole loadout. So you can set up a loadout, hit one button, buy everything, get into raid instead of having to go through and find everything. New weapons, the 9A1, AK-12, and the SVT rifle. It's an old school like auto.
Yeah, the SVT, 54R. And then they're adding the FN grenade launcher for the underbarrel for the scars. I think it was the one it was. So the AK-12, dude, I'm pumped. I've been waiting for that for forever.
I'm surprised as soon as it came out, I'm surprised it wasn't in the game.
And they had the RPK-16 in the game like forever. So finally an AK-12.
He said VSK sniper rifle. Show pictures of that. Nice. There's going to be new armor hit zones. So there'll be like the carriers will have plates with different hit zones and different durability for the regions of the armor, front, side, back. And you'll be able to repair those. Hideout expansion with new animations in there. And then he showed the arena teaser, which I was most excited about. There's going to be 5 maps, 2 modes to start with. There's going to be a kill cam, which could be getting tested for the main game, which would be pretty sweet. So there's going to be a kill cam, faster matchmaking, better netcode. He said esports server standard for esports and server performance. So there's going to be different servers for these. Custom games. It sounds like they're going to make custom games and allow other people to do that too. So streamers and stuff, content creators, communities can have tournaments. They'll be able to have that with.
That's cool.
Battle State Games is going to make their own tournaments and have creators against each other. So they're going to do all that stuff.
I'm curious what the admin tools are going to be for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It sounded the custom games. It made it sound more like Portal and less like Fortnite creative, right? Like you're not going to be able to change the maps or anything.
No,
but it sounds like you have like a rules editor where you can make your own modes and stuff.
Certain at a certain time delay or whatever. So very basic, which is cool. I mean, give us anything at this point for our own custom.
Yep.
Service
and then,
for sure.
He said in the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to find out when we can play and stuff. So it's close, kind of. And then they showed a live action trailer for Chronicles of Rizzy, which is like a short film looking series, live action series of a Tarkov story. And they had a scene in there where they had arena happening. And what they did was the PMCs in the arena fighting each other, I call it void, but they were talking to each other, decided not to shoot each other. And so when that happens after a certain time, they let scavs out of the containers, and the scavs are the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if there's going to be VoIP in arena because those PMCs were talking to each other.
And then be like, hey, let's not shoot.
Dude,
and
what
then
if
see
there's
what happens.
VoIP?
How long can you survive?
What if there's like proximity VoIP in an arena shooter? Like you could talk shit. Like, dude, I haven't seen that yet. Like, I don't think that's a thing.
That would be fun.
That'd be wild, dude. So then there's going to be scavs come out.
Not.
And then if you kill all the scavs, then Killa and Tagilla came out. The bosses. So the bosses from Factory and the boss from Interchange.
The bosses and their bodyguards would probably come out.
Yeah, and I feel like that's probably when the game's over. Based on how they are when you meet them in the game. It's probably they just death sprinkler the entire lobby and it's GG's, but that's what I'm guessing. Just real quick, Moheresy, Tarkov does have a story. It has a really big
if a lot of lore. Is that a live action video out yet or no?
They've had
a bunch, the raid series and stuff.
The raid series,
but the one you're talking about the Chronicles of
Rizzy, that's new. That's following a scav, like a special scav.
Is that out already now?
Yeah, season 2's out. Yeah.
I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, cool.
So they
teased and showed that BSG like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
video?
I guess a lot of developers and stuff are in it. The developers are like using cameras and making it, and actors in it, and a lot of people from that are in there. So
I enjoyed the raid series. I was a fan of the production quality.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I love the raid series.
Impacts of the weapons, stuff like that. When the dust settles, and I definitely, if it's already on season 2, I gotta go check that out for sure.
So I'm really, if you couldn't tell, I'm pretty excited for Arena.
This is the main reason why I want to come back in the first place, is because of Arena. Like, I was tired of just putting in so many hours for that, for regular Tarkov. I just don't have the time. So let me just get a few
Man,
games
it's
in,
just
and
like
I'm good.
it's
And
like
and fighting in here gets you ready for the real game as well too. If you really want to take
true.
those,
Yeah,
you
make it
know,
better at PvP.
You want to
yeah,
dedicate
makes
a
me
quarter of your life to it.
if you
And you
because
can.
then you got a whole system to learn if you just started off. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that's a
it
super good
definitely.
point.
I mean, it helps out for sure if you do want to get into their base game.
Yeah, if you want to get better at PvP in the main game, you have like 1 or 2 fights a raid maybe, and then you're always like 10 minutes getting your loadout done, waiting for matchmaking, getting to a
Cleaning
raid,
up
you're
your
running in. You don't get
stash.
that many gunfights when you're playing the normal mode.
Yeah.
This sounds like you're gonna get all those. Yeah, so
That was my main thing with that is you just like were so unprepared with firefights. You just needed to go in and die like crazy till you got like you develop better strategies.
And I feel like Tarkov does this. There's an ebb and flow of like hope and disappointment, and this is like the height of the hopium right now. So hopefully all this stuff comes through, man. I'm just rooting for it. We need more good games.
Yeah, it looks really
this
good.
game again is one of a kind, incredibly ambitious, and we just hope they can come through. They've just done some questionable stuff lately. It's been running rough lately, but if they can fix code, if they can fix audio, there's audio changes coming and they're constantly working on it. It sounds like new content is going to be pretty light in the main game. They're just kind of doing an Operation Hell thing, which I think is important. So I'm hopeful, but you know, we get these hopeful things before, and sometimes they don't always work out, and we see more bugs.
Potential, and we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely got way more potential than normally. So, I mean,
I think if they can nail this and like it comes out and it's smooth-ish, it'll be huge. So we'll see. I regardless, once it gets to a stable state, it's going to be huge. But I would like to see this come right out of the gate hot, because this is going to be something that's going to pull in a lot of new players, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. And it might make the main game better. It might help Timmy's get like a little more confident in gunfights, get some reps, and it might take some of the super sweats.
I was going to also say, I think this is going to be a very good way
just here for PvP. Yeah,
this is going to be a very good way to add an additional data collection pool to find cheaters.
True. Yeah, be a lot more gunfights to process.
A lot more gunfights. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Was it the replay kill cam?
Yeah,
replay kill cam was talked about. Yep. So there's a lot here. I think same thing we talked about. With
Which
Call
makes
of Duty.
me question. They already have custom server options, kill cams, replay function. Like, why isn't that in the normal base game now?
I think it's comes down to like server
it's on a
load.
smaller
scale.
I think server load.
Too.
I bet that's just storing all that video, all those recordings of all that game from everybody's POV and all the raids would be
crazy.
That's true. That's a lot of server space.
Be something crazy. Yeah. So that's Tarkov. Try to give you the rundown, quick, fast, in a hurry. But that's it. A lot of cool stuff coming. Not right away. I think you'll see like the weapons and stuff first. Those are going to be soon, and then the rest of that stuff's going to trickle out in the coming months.
Nice.
So yeah, arena's where it's at, I hope. The next thing I wanted to talk about, Battlefield 2042 event. I believe it starts tomorrow. And this one actually, we're a hopium show today. Things are looking good, looking bright. This Battlefield game mode looks pretty cool, I feel like. It's not just like a repurposed other game mode. It sounds like they actually made like game and map changes to this thing. And it could be cool. So shout out Battlefield Bulletin. They listened to the podcast where they talked about it and summarized it. They put out an Inside Battlefield podcast. So what it sounds like, I'll just read through these real quick so you guys can react to it. No vehicles, flags, and spawn points. New cover and objects. So they did add cover and change the maps a little bit. Really cool to see that. Round time based score cap. The Lance 70s life. It has 70 seconds of lifetime once planted. So you basically have to plant the Lance within the objective area, it sounds like, to bleed score. There's an overtime only if Lance is still scoring. Average match duration is around 15 minutes. No specialist restrictions, which could get sus. People could all spam one specialist together. There could be some metas formed there. I feel like it would kind of be cool to have like a specialist draft like in Rainbow or Caliber or like those other kind of games. But it's 8v8, so there's not enough specialists to go around probably. Insertion flow between rounds is 30 seconds, so it sounds like it's pretty quick. Then a couple more details. You can't take the lance out by using explosives. 7 minutes for each round. The lance scores every 3.5 seconds. So you basically plant that in the objective area and then have to hold it, keep it alive, for them to, and have them not disarm it. Smaller map layouts. Spawn beacon and smoke are going to be crucial. So yeah, it sounds like when you die, you go back to probably the starting spawn. So having a spawn beacon to make those pushes would be really, really strong. For DICE, shutdown is an attempt to lean into the competitive aspect. So this is another case where DICE is trying to do a competitive mode. They've done that several times with old Battlefield, like Battlefield 1 Incursions. Battlefield 5 had a 5v5 mode. And this is another shot at it. So maybe if it's good, they'll leave it. I don't know. What do you guys think of the sound of that mode?
I mean, I'm ready for any content Battlefield drops at this point. I mean,
right.
I need content in general.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not something I'm going to play, to be honest.
It's to be honest, I like it's cool, but I'm not gonna sink my teeth in as much as I probably will Call of Duty. I feel like, this is coming from like Battlefield 2 player. You know, love Battlefield to death, but I don't know. It again, flashy trailer, looks cool. Not sure about the whole specialist thing. We'll just have to wait and see with that.
Man, the trailer team at DICE is strong.
They always know, man. Always know how to make cool trailers.
They make really cool trailers for about everything. No, it's up my alley. As someone who's been into the recent Battlefields a lot, up until the most recent one. I like that competitive aspect of Battlefield. I think that's a cool way for some of the Battlefield mechanics to shine. In some of those infantry only close quarters combat modes. So it's gonna be cool to see. Some of the cosmetics are really cool, I feel like. And I think they fit too, because it's future, right? This is in the future, so there's kind of some weird cosmetics is something you could reason with.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit looking forward to it. I'm gonna try it out, see how it goes. The one thing I can see happening is if it's good, I'm gonna be really sad when they get rid of it. That'll be.
And you know they're gonna do that, right? Like everyone.
Yeah, it's over on the
25th. Took it away.
And then the developers will like, everyone's liking this. Player numbers are up. There's a lot of people playing, and the playtime is longer. And EA will be like, "Yep, nope, sorry, get rid of it.
Get rid of it."
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it with that. I do have to say, I put it in our little group chat.
Is it quick shot time?
No,
one more thing for Battlefield.
It deals with Battlefield. So I don't know if anyone knows Jordy11, huge Battlefield YouTuber, creator, streamer. He was the community manager for esport Battlefield for since literally Battlefield 3 days. And he recently passed away due to some medical conditions. So there is a link that if people want to go, and later there will be a GoFundMe for his hospital care team that he said that he wanted to give money to. And there is, and I'll put it in, I guess, kind of just
throw in the chat. Yeah.
I can put it in. Which one is it? Put it in Discord, and I'll put it in Restream chat, and it'll go to everybody.
There we go. So there is more like an online memorial. So if you want to go say nice things about him, and I mean the kid was 25, so definitely
25. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a big hit for the Battlefield community for sure too. So
terrible.
You know, it goes to show that no matter what happens with gaming and how gaming is nowadays, at least we all stick together, which is nice. So, you know, just wanted to put that out there and say your thoughts and prayers and stuff like that.
I wasn't really familiar with him. I knew who he was and had seen a few of his videos and kind of knew, his role in the competitive scene. I did see that on Twitter, and Enders was talking about it. Dude, what a bummer, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know about him until he was he's popped in the World War III scene for a little bit, and then we got both mentioned on Big Fry's video of talking crap about World War III, funny enough. So, and then he like, I got to talk to him a little bit. He joined our like little group that we have a bunch of other content creators in and stuff like that. So, you know, I didn't really get to talk to him a lot, but definitely, you know, it hurts when it's someone that's like, oh wow, you didn't realize that, you know.
Yeah, that's awful.
Someone that close.
Not to get like too into it, but I mean, was it made public specifically like what kind of medical condition?
No, if anything, it was just the hospital. But at least he, you know, his family was by his side.
Yeah,
very, you know, that's nice. So
yeah, well, it's
but a lot of cool memorials, a lot of you know, people talking about video games, and he's a Battlefield legend, and
yeah,
you know,
I see.
I hope DICE puts something, you know, like in the game.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
commemorate him. I think that'd be kind of cool. I know they've done that before in the past as well too.
I mean, we also just lost one of the happened in between shows, so I don't think we ever talked about it. We lost one of the Battlefield friends, creators and voice actors there too. I want to say it was like 2 months ago. The sniper is the one, the guy who voiced Sniper.
Voiced the sniper character in Battlefield Friends. Yeah,
I think it was.
I didn't even know that.
It was sometime in February, unfortunately. So yeah, big hit for the Battlefield community. Yep, Battlefield Friends. Yeah, so hopefully it'd be cool to see something memorialize both of them in the game going forward.
That would be
for
really
the franchise.
Cool. Thick 44
would be nice. Yeah, Thick 44. Yeah,
the sniper in Battlefield Friends passed away too not long ago. So sad. And then I remember hearing this too. Meister said it in my chat that Jordy was the best controller player ever to play Battlefield, and Enders also said he was amazing. So if like Enders says he's good on a controller, the kid was.
Dude, he got so many accusations, especially for like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, so many accusations. It was crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it was Thick 44 that passed away. Man, hate it. I hate it. It's the worst part of life, man.
Yeah. R.I.P. to our Battlefield brothers.
Yep. And prayers for peace for families and friends, man. That's it. That sucks. But yeah, I hope they do something to memorialize him. I know Ender said on the tweet, he tweeted the other, the Deus guy who worked with him on the competitive scene. They should do like a memorial tournament. That would be really cool. And have like
in his name, that would be sick. Actually, that'd be really cool.
Bring some of the crazy good Battlefield players out and play some 5v5.
Imagine how good that game would be, man.
Yeah, I think you can still do. I think you can still do 5v5 in Battlefield 5. I know they had that mode for a while. That would be awesome.
Dude, I remember back when like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 were like on the hype train, and the esports scene would be like countries versus country, dude. It was
epic.
So good, man. So that used to be like, that was the biggest part for me, at least back in the day too, watching those games.
If they could bring,
I was in the army back then too.
If they could bring that and bring awareness to his GoFundMe, I bet that would have viewership and bring awareness to that cause. That'd be really cool. I would vote for it. I'd vote for it to happen.
That's about it though.
Dang. Bummer. Godspeed to all the families and friends left over, man. So the next thing we'll talk about, I reckon we got a couple little
quick shots. I heard a cat in the background too.
Little quick shots.
Oh yeah, he's on my lap now.
He's very excited. He's very excited.
He wanted quick shots.
He loves quick shots.
I mean, who doesn't, to be honest? Really the only thing that I don't have a lot to talk about here. Was gonna let you guys know that the Boundary game, the shooter in space is releasing in early access this week. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested in it. I kind of don't think it was for me.
I don't think it's gonna pop off. I think it's gonna have like a decent player base, you know, a couple thousand, but I had fun playing. I was popping off for a bit, especially because you move within a 3D space. It's kind of like what
that was messing with me, dude. I couldn't.
It's what Advanced Warfare wanted to be, you know, when they went to space. But and it's got a pretty easy time to kill as well too.
Yeah.
The cosmetics are a bit, you know, cheesy, I would say. A lot of flashy stuff, a lot of pink
is there?
and purples, and yeah, there's a lot of cosmetics.
I didn't see that in the early
stripe.
access.
It's not crazy to the point where there's bulges, but there definitely is like little cat ear. There is cat ears. There are one, but it's like on top of your astronaut space suit, so it's like little tiny ones. But
tactical space gear.
Tactical space gear. They got like cool like shoulder patches and spacesuits look like chrome. But the cool part I feel like are the guns, because they really and the sound design in the game, because of course you can't really hear anything in space, but they make it feel like everything's like underwater, muffled. The way like when you die, your guy just kind of floats off into space and your gun starts floating around, and
That's cool.
zero gravity, and they have like the space AK, and the space Mosin, the space like bullpup AR looking type weapon. So it's all space themed. It's a pretty cool game. I would definitely. I don't know if it's coming out. I think it's probably just gonna be like a free to play test, because then you can pay for the cosmetics. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I was a complete asshole, and I was like, but wait, space is a vacuum, so sound couldn't travel. We wouldn't be able to hear anything. And
yeah,
everybody's like, shut up, Crash.
Star Wars would be,
Yeah, just shut your mouth. All right, fine, just play the game. My bad. But yeah, so that's coming out. The other thing that's this week is X Defiant. Beta test. So you have to sign up, xdefiant.com/closed beta. You can hit register in the top right-hand corner of the website, select your platform, and get signed up to potentially get invited to the closed beta. The difference being, in this closed beta, there is no NDA. So folks will be able to stream it. I've been getting in, so I think I'll get in again. Get in again. You like that? I'll be able to play and potentially stream it. The one thing, let me show you guys just really quick. I know we're running out of time. We've had a good program today. The modes in this thing were crazy. I got an error, so maybe that's not the website. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. It's on. It starts April 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific.
So
there's gonna be
Okay.
like a show match. So a lot of
the public, I'm guessing.
A lot of Call of Duty pros. There's gonna be drops on Twitch. The one thing, let me show you guys really quick. I'm so sorry, my production team, they're fired. They're out of here.
Get them out of here.
Yeah. What is this? 404 not found. I was just at the website. I literally was at the web. Okay. Stop it. Quit. Stay. The closed beta timing 13th through the 23rd for 10 days. There's the showcase. They're going to talk about in-game features and everything. The crazy thing was right here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 maps.
Jeez.
14 maps in the closed beta. An unranked playlist. Wow. They're also going to test ranked at some point, or ranked alpha, to see how that goes. The modes are going to be escort, zone control, domination, and occupy. Yeah, cool. And it talks about all the stuff that they're going to add. But that was like the most eye-opening thing to me.
It's a good amount of maps.
14 maps, like in the closed beta. It's like,
you don't see that anymore these days.
No, they are truly going back old school in more senses than one, and they're actually having a lot of maps like games used to have. I think that's it for me.
Back in the early 2000s,
yeah.
Yeah, right.
But exactly. In this game, I'm like a lot of people I've seen on my channel, I'm not excited about like their cosmetics and the setting and stuff. But I am, however, excited about what Mark Rubin has been saying on Twitter when it comes to like no skill-based matchmaking in the unranked modes. Just a lot of stuff on like how things will work, bringing it back like a little bit old school on some of the hot topics in first-person shooters. He's been saying all the right stuff. So
yeah, he has. So I'm excited for it, at least to watch it and see how it is, and then maybe I'll jump into it depending. But I mean, regardless, I think the weapons and things like that look cool. So hopefully it.
Nice.
I think like you said, everything he's saying is good for the gaming industry. So with that in mind, I hope it's successful.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really wish they would do a 1 life round mode, like a bomb mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that, and exactly what Chris H is saying is going to be like, it's going to be their biggest hurdle, is repairing all the damage that they caused when they released it, when it had the Tom Clancy name and it was a bunch of skater punk bullshit on the screen and
garbage.
Everybody's like, dude, come on. So
yeah, Tom Clancy rolling over in his grave at that one.
It's silly. It followed a little bit of a track record that Ubisoft is developing of just using IP cool names to get sales.
I heard they had the Tom Clancy Barney the Dinosaur game in development, but they pulled back on that after the backlash.
Tell me more.
I really wanted the Tom Clancy Teletubbies game, to be honest. I thought that would have been a big winner. You know, TVs on their stomachs and shit like that. That'd be right up. I think Tom Clancy would have signed off on that.
I mean, it was probably going to be in his next book.
I think I think that's where they got it from. Is he had a couple unfinished books, in flux, and that's probably where they pulled it from.
Mm-hmm. But
I said that with a straight face, so I deserve a freaking award for that. Come on.
Is there an award show for a shitty podcast? Because like we'd be up for something. I feel like,
dude, that is some grade A comedy there, people.
Yeah. I feel like we'd be.
I need to host the Grammys.
Emmys.
Buff needs to host.
Yeah,
that Emmys, whatever it is. Get me up there. I'll
get slapped on stage.
Oh,
daytime Emmy.
Love to see them try.
Yeah.
Go ahead, try.
The streamer awards for shitty podcasts.
We could probably keep the next thing for next episode, to be honest.
Okay. Sounds good. We had a lot to talk about. It was good, but I guess
only because of this one it went.
Just real quick on X Defiant, I will leave you with this. It is free, and the dude is trying. So
there you go.
I want to give it a try.
Yeah, that's good.
There's no reason not to give it a go.
Exactly.
I just hope. I've tweeted him a lot. He answers people's tweets, of course, not mine. It's just like, I'm like, dude, give me a fucking bomb mode with no respawn. It's like, look at CS:GO, look at Valorant, look at Siege still hanging around. That mode is incredibly replayable. Please put it in the game.
They've got to. They must. They've got to be able to do it eventually. It'd be a miss not to.
I think so. That's it for me, fellas.
Yeah, that's all I had. I just want me some season 3 and some General Dynamics RM277 ASAP.
Excited for season 3. Definitely getting back into that for sure.
We'll have some stuff to talk about. Maybe next episode will just be the 3 of us in a DMZ squad running around.
Just going ham.
That'd be pretty funny.
But let's want to see that.
Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Like we say at the end of every podcast, if you want to help support us, hit those sub buttons, hit those like buttons wherever you're at, do all the free stuff. And most importantly, be a friend, tell a friend, and bring somebody back with you next week. Share it with them. Let's all watch it together and hang out next week. I think we'll be probably reacting to all this new content next week and any kind of news that pops up between now and then.
It always pops off like between shows for sure. And they're like, we could have had that content before.
Yeah, I know. The roadmap timing and all that. That's okay.
It always happens, but we'll catch it next week.
Yeah, it was good stuff though.
Yeah, we had a lot to get through. There was a ton of stuff.
Yeah, that was a big one.
So, all right, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for hanging out.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Next week.
Take care.